Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Ex Libris. First of all, let me thank you, all of you, for watching the previous and this episode of Ex Libris and for your kind words and encouragement. Special thanks to the Bookstagram community, the bookish people on Instagram that have really showed an interest and encouraged me to keep doing these videos. Today we're going to discuss a book that I've recently finished, and it is a book, some may say alternative history, some may say political, some may say classic. Well, I don't know. I'm talking about the book you see here. It's by Sinclair Lewis. It Can't Happen Here. It's a book that has returned to the spotlight because of the recent, not so recent anymore, election in the United States of America and the rhetoric of the pre-election time that distinctly brought to mind things from a distant past. This book is not a modern one. It's a book written in 1935, in the middle of the Depression, in between the two world wars. It's a book about totalitarianism. It's a book that deals with an alternative political history of the United States, where a totalitarian regime has taken over democratically, of course, through elections, the country. Of course, this regime is more fascist, I would say, by nature and the way it is, but we're missing the point if we say that it can't happen. It can happen with any system, and this is laid out in the book in many points. I mean, every social system, it can, when carried to the extreme, be as totalitarian as fascism or Nazism or whatever. So it's not about a single system, and that's why this book is so important. It's not important to read because it reflects or could reflect the situation, the current situation in the United States. No, it's a lesson that every country, everyone who counts himself a Democrat, a Republican, should read. It says, the title says, it can't happen here. Of course, it's satirical because it happens there, and it, as I have written in my opinion in Goodreads, it can happen everywhere. It can happen in your country. It can happen in my country. In fact, it is happening. Maybe not. It's not as conspicuous as in the book. Maybe it's more subtle, but in many countries it is happening. A new form of totalitarian regimes is trying to take the reins in many countries, and this is something I think that it should concern every educated person. There's not a good or a bad totalitarian regime. For me, they're all equally bad, no matter what's the ideology that's behind, no matter what excuses they give for their actions. It's a bad thing, and it's a thing that every educated people should, every free spirit, as the author says, should fight against. Let me read a quote from the book saying exactly that. More and more, as I think about history, I'm convinced that everything that is worthwhile in the world has been accomplished by the free, inquiring, critical spirit, and that the preservation of the spirit is more important than any social system whatsoever. and this is, dear viewers, something that I sincerely believe true. And the situation, I mean, the book is not it shows it's a rather old book, almost 100-year-old. Okay, not a hand, but okay, it's an old book, and you can tell by the way it is written. At the beginning is slow, at least I would consider it slow going by modern standards, but it is useful because the author wants to deepen our understanding of the main characters, especially the character of the main hero, Doremus Jessup, an editor in a magazine, in a newspaper. And it is through his eyes that we watch all these things happen. And it is his thoughts that reflect the authors, but also his thoughts are thoughts that I would say reflect the agony, the fear of the whole society, the fear of the free-thinking man against the ignorance of totalitarianism. And yeah, I think it is a bit slow. Also, so if you think of this book just as an alternative history, you'll be kind of disappointed because it doesn't offer an answer. In the end, there's no solution. Let's say it doesn't offer solutions. This book, it just states how things are and what one can do. It doesn't say how it will end, and in this respect it reminds me of The Man in the High Castle of Philip Dick, but that's another great book. But let's concentrate on Sinclair Lewis, and it can't happen here. And I think what we should have always in mind is another quote from the book about how such a regime, such a totalitarian regime would come to be. But let me read the quote from the book. The tyranny of this dictatorship isn't primarily the fault of big business, nor of the demagogues who do their dirty work. It's the fault of Doremus Jessup, of all the conscientious, respectable, lazy-minded Doremus Jessups who have let the demagogues wriggle in without fierce enough protest. So, and that's another point we should take to heart, that when we're confronted with ignorance, with stupidity, with demagogues, we should, it's our duty as persons who love books, who love reading, persons who love knowledge and free thinking, it is our duty to stand up and offer them, at least fight them as well as we can, fight them with logic, with sense. I don't know if I get too sentimental, but our times are also troubled. I think our times are as troubled as Sinclair Lewis times, as the Middle War, as the Great Depression. Yes, in many countries there is still a depression running deep, and this has social and political consequences, and we see that every day. So that's the book. I totally recommend it, and if you haven't read it, please at least check it out. I think it's worth it, and you can find it everywhere in ebook, in electronic form, so it shouldn't be a problem. It has been translated in many languages also, so if you don't speak English, well, if you were watching this video, you are speaking English, so okay. So currently, also I'm currently reading fantasy. I've returned after my summer of crime, I've said, and after this political book, I've returned to fantasy. I'm reading Malice by John Gwynne, which came highly recommended by another fellow bookstagrammer. Niels reviews it. It's the bookstagrammer. Very nice account, especially if you're into fantasy, so maybe you want to check her out. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.